Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're doing something completely different. I'm gonna make a prediction list for the rest of the 2022 F1 World Championship season. I kind of wanted to do this as well before the first race, but then I feel like you're just completely guessing and you have no idea what is gonna happen, because I think no one knows, even the teams themselves, that or what's gonna happen basically. So I kind of want to do this, after the first race, because then you kind of have a feeling where everyone stands. But of course it's still going to change a lot during the season, but at least you have a little bit of an idea of what's going to happen this season. As I think, for example, no one expected McLaren to be this far off, so then your prediction would have already been completely off, and at the same time I think no one expected Haas to be doing that well. So gonna go into this with a bit more of a feeling than if I would have done it 1 week ago, because everyone's expectations were completely wrong, I think so. So now we have a good feeling of what's going to happen, or at least I have a good feeling of what's going to happen this season. So let's head into it. P20, I'm going to go for Nicolas Latifi, as I think he was quite a bit off his teammate in Bahrain. And I feel like Williams is still not really going to be fighting heavily for points. Maybe Alex Albon is going to be able to challenge for 1 or 2 points every now and then, if he has a good race and a little bit of luck. But I think that Nicolas is not quite on his level. So I'm going to go for P20 with Nicolas. P19, I'm going to have to go with, I think, one of the Aston Martin drivers, as I think Aston Martin is not really going to be challenging for points this season as well. Similar to Williams, I think they're on pretty similar levels. So I'm going to go with Lance Stroll in P19. I'm sorry, Lance. I just think Aston Martin is not really any good this season. I'm sorry. So I hope they can improve during this season, but it's not looking very good at the moment. So yeah, unfortunate for them. P18. I'm gonna go with Sebastian Vettel, I think so. It feels weird to put Sebastian Vettel in P18, because he's a 4-time world champion and doesn't belong there, really. But as I said, I think Aston Martin at this point is a backmarket team. I don't think they're gonna make many improvements during the season, so tough to say what's gonna happen further down the line. But I think they're gonna be struggling this season, together with Williams again. It still says Mazepin here, but we're just gonna pretend it's Kevin Magnussen, of course. So I couldn't find another one, so I had to go with this one. And I'm not good enough to make these graphics myself, like Tomo, for example. So P18 for Sap. Then I'm gonna go P17 for Danny Rick. As we all know, McLaren was horrible in Bahrain, and they are struggling. It's weird to put someone like Danny Rick and Sebastian Vettel that far down, but I just don't see them improving a lot during the season. So tough, of course, but it is what it is, unfortunately for them. Then in P15, where are we going to put in P15? I am going to go with this is tough. This is very tough. I want to put everyone high because they're all good drivers, but P15 I'm going to go with Yuki Tsunoda. Even though he scored points in Bahrain, usually AlphaTauri starts off the season very well and then drop off during the season, like Pierre, for example, finished P4, P5 last year in Bahrain, or maybe the year before, I don't know. Usually Pierre does really well in Bahrain, and scores a lot of points in the first half of the season, but then I think as other teams keep their development off massively, AlphaTauri just can't, and just gradually drop off during the season. So P15 for Yuki, for me, and P16. And then I'm going to go P15 with Alex. I think Alex will score a few points as well, together with Yuki. But yeah, I think both are going to be struggling a lot. I don't think Yuki is going to stay in F1 in 2023. I think Liam Lawson will get in, but we will have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what is going to happen further along the line. P14, I'm going to go with Lando, because we know McLaren space is pretty awful. They're, at this point, I feel like, together with Williams, Aston Martin and McLaren, the worst team. So yeah, unlucky. I'm sorry, Lando. I hope you do better. I hope my prediction is wrong, but it's not. Alright, P13. Who are we going to put in P13? I think I'm going to put Mick P13. I think obviously the Haas car is quite a bit faster than the McLaren at this point. I think McLaren will claw back midway through the season, but that Haas is pretty rapid. Of course, Mick got spun around in Bahrain in the first race, which was unfortunate, otherwise he might have scored points. But yeah, I think once again he's going to score a few points, but not massively, not fighting for top 10, I think so. I think Kevin is slightly better at this moment. Of course, Kevin has much more experience than Mick. So Kevin with the 10 points already in the bag, Mick with 0. The 10 points is going to be a lot for Haas during the whole season. I think it's not going to be easy to be scoring 10 points any race along the season for Haas. So that was just a massive start for Kevin. Good race pace as well, especially race pace for Kevin was really good. So yeah, P12, I'm gonna go with Pierre Gasly. I think he's gonna be scoring some good points, a bit better than Yuki, of course. I think Bahrain showed that Pierre has a lot better pace than Yuki still. I think it's gonna stay like that probably. It's not easy to make up that big of a deficit. Did I say that right? Deficit? Yeah. So yeah, P12 for Pierre. P11, I'm gonna be going with Esteban Ocon. Because yeah, I think Esteban is not on the level of Fernando. I think Fernando is clear. Sorry, Esteban, but it is what it is. P10, I'm gonna go with Joe. I think Bahrain showed that he's doing really well, and he's only going to get better across the season. So yeah, I think he will prove everyone wrong. I think in F2 he showed some sparks of insane raw pace, but never really got out of it. I think in an F1 car it's easier to be consistent, as the F2 cars are a bit harder to drive. So yeah, I think he's going to do really well. Of course, he only scored 1 point in Bahrain, but I think he will do better later on in the season. So, going to be one to watch. Joe, I hope he keeps it up. Had a very stable first race of the season. Not really any big mistakes in testing, free practice, just got his laps in, no crashes, no incidents. So, P10 for Joe, in my opinion. P9, I'm going to go with Nando. I think the Alpine is not quite up to the challenge of the likes of Haas or Ferrari or Mercedes. It's weird that I'm saying Haas is going to be better than Alpine, because last year they were so bad, but Haas has just improved so much. P8, I'm going to be going with, not Nikita, Kevin. Yeah, the 10 points is going to be crucial. I think Kevin is going to have more of those moments in the season where he's just going to clutch up, because he has no pressure. He's just there for fun. And even though he's there for fun, he's still going to be fighting like mad, because that's just how Kevin is. He's a racer. And I think he is going to be making these clutch moments. I think Haas is not going to be up there the whole season. Yeah, I think for Haas it's going to be a little bit the same as for AlphaTauri. I think they're going to drop down a little bit throughout the season, like they usually do. But I think Kevin is still going to clutch up a few moments during this season, and then he's going to score quite big. Like that P5, 10 points is pretty massive, because it's going to be once again P1 to P6, realistically, every race is going to be Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull. So yeah. P7, I'm going to put Valtteri. He's still in his wrong gear here. This should be Alfa Romeo. But you know, he's an Alfa Romeo now. So P7 Valtteri. I think that Alfa Romeo is rapid. It's going to stay rapid throughout the season. So yeah, I think it's going to be outscoring Kevin. I think Valtteri just needs to get better starts because his Bahrain start was pretty horrendous. I don't remember if he had an accident or anything, but usually Valtteri starts are not great anyway. So, but still, I think his pace, you can see he was challenging the Mercedes cars. So the Alfa Romeo is up there. The Alfa Romeo is up there definitely. P6, I'm gonna be putting Checo. The Red Bull is clearly faster than the Mercedes at the moment, but I think Mercedes will have a comeback as soon as they come back to Imola, for example, because that's when the first upgrades are going to start rolling in. So I think Mercedes is still going to be fighting for the championship. P5, I'm going to choose Carlos. Of course, Ferrari had a massive start to the season, like insane. The best they could have gotten. I mean, P1, P2, and a fastest lap for Charles. So Charles 26 points in the back. That 1 point might be very important when it comes down to the end of the season. So, but I don't think Carlos is on the level of Charles at the moment, and I think it's going to take him too long to get on that level. You know, if you're 10 races down the line, and you finally start matching your teammate, then it's too late. And I think Charles. Yeah, it's just a class apart. I think Charles is up there with Lewis and Max. So, P4, I'm going to go for George. As I said, I expect Mercedes, or I feel like Mercedes is going to make a comeback throughout the season. I think last year that was a little bit the case as well. Last year they didn't have the pace. I think this year they're a little bit further behind. But new regulation changes mean the gaps are going to be bigger at the start and get smaller towards the end of the season. So I expect, as I said, Ferrari a little bit to drop off and Mercedes to catch up. P3, I'm going to go for Max. I'm not going to be a very famous person with saying this in the Netherlands, but yeah, that's just what I think. P2, I'm going to go with Charles. And then, obviously, Lewis P1. As I said, I think Mercedes is going to make a comeback this year. I don't think George is quite at the level of Lewis yet. I think it's going to take time because Lewis is one of the best ever in Formula 1. So, as you saw in Bahrain, they just got the most out of the car. In Q3, nailed his final quali lap. George made a mistake. And then, of course, Lewis and George got lucky with the retirements of Max and Sergio. But yeah, it's just always the case. I feel like with Lewis, you know, he always, it looks like he's lucky, but he always positions himself in a race in a way where he looks like he's lucky, but he just doesn't, you know, really get in unfortunate accidents. Or that Mercedes is also very reliable. So yeah, not easy to say this, because at the moment it looks like Mercedes is quite far. They are far off. They're half a second off the pace on quali, and in the race in Bahrain, it looked like it was even more. And then they somehow still got P3, P4 because of the retirements from Red Bull. And of course, Mercedes can have a double retirement as well, but it doesn't happen often. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Of course. But this is what I feel like is gonna happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. Maybe Charles wins the World Championship. Maybe Max. But yeah, this is how I feel like it. I feel like an absolute fraud putting Carlos in P5 because Ferrari is really fast in Bahrain. But this is what I think is gonna happen. So, hope you guys enjoyed this completely different video to normal. And yeah, see you guys next time for another F1 2021 video. This was a one-off. I'm not gonna be doing a lot of these kind of videos. I just want to do a prediction after the first race of the season. And yeah, see you guys next time. Ciao.